That's great. Thank you, James. So here's the vision board that I created. You might notice the big 50 there. I'm actually 50 next year. So we went through a lot of magazines and various things. I love the line at the top. I don't know if you can see that. Can you read that okay?
Yeah.
All right, Alexandra, brilliant. And I just wanted to say I created that at Lauren's workshop. She runs something called Moon Marketing. What I find amazing about Lauren, having known her for a year, is she's got this beautiful balance between the hard practicalities of running a business, having online presence, creating internet presence, having a website sorted out, all those kind of things. But she marries it beautifully with something that is so kind of at the other end of the spectrum, which is the moon cycles of the moon. And I think that's an incredible combination. And on a personal level, I don't know if you can relate to this, but I'd spent 5 years people telling me, have you done your website yet? And I'm just not that interested. Siobhan knows from personal experience, I network, I meet people in live interaction. And Lauren was the first person to sit with me and say, what you need to do is try something called eCard, or Card, I think it's called. And it was just an electronic, very easy. And just use that, and I've got a website now. So thank you very much to Lauren. I'm going to hand it over to you. You're going to take us through, is it creating a vision or a vision board for 2022?
Yeah, thank you so much, Praveen. That's so sweet. And yeah, I'm very passionate about vision boards. I've got, as Praveen saw when we did the workshop in Twickenham, like these are all of the ones that I've done in the past. And I was just having a look, as you were saying, what have you created that you visualize? And there are some things I can see in here, like this one I made at the beginning of this year. Was it this year or end of last year? And one of the things here says, I've created an online membership that forms the foundation of my work this year. I was like, oh yeah, I have done that now, actually. I always have calm is always like a word that features. So that's a big focus for me. So yeah, it's not to say that your vision board has to look like this. Like it was fascinating, wasn't it, Prav, in the workshop? Like everyone's came out so differently, and it's okay to have white, gaps. It's okay to have writing, not have writing. Some people's look like a novel. It was just like paragraphs of stuff on there. So yeah, the idea is like there's science behind it that shows that if you it's like this positive reinforcement in your mind, right? We all know the law of attraction. It's like that constant reinforcement. If you're seeing these images every day, like if I'm seeing this, I literally have it on the wall next to my fridge. My husband isn't entirely on board with all of this law of attraction and manifesting stuff, but he just notices that every now and again these change. I try and do like one a quarter, and it's just that repetition, isn't it? It's just seeing these words. Like one of these words says, I'm stronger than I think. I get to decide how I run my business. High vibes. So it's just like this constant repetition, isn't it? Like seeing the things that you want to be or the things that you want to manifest. And the picture just says so much more than anything else. Like the colors, the feelings, the textures. And I just think it's so much more practical than writing down all of, like, journaling is great. I love it. But then when you close your book, it's there. It's not on the wall. So that's why I love this sort of really visual way of bringing that to life. And there's a couple of ways that you can do it. So there's the way that we did in person. I'm running another in-person one in case anyone's local in January. So you can do the in-person one. You can get magazines, you can get scissors, you can get glue, get all of that great stuff, which is really really tactile, really fun. But if that can also be like quite it's quite a lot to organize. So I also teach how to do them online, which is what I'm going to talk about today. So how you can use a tool called Canva to create an online vision board that you can then send to print. So this one was done on Canva, actually. Can I share my screen, James? I don't know if am I allowed to? At the moment I can't, but I'll share it in a minute. Thank you. So yeah, it's just showing you how you can create that online, because you don't need to then buy magazines, you don't need to have all of that space. You can just sit down and every time you get a few minutes, just come and add a new picture. Or maybe you have an idea that pops into your head, you can come and find. The brilliant thing with the internet is you can find any picture you want, any color, any style, anything, which is amazing. So let's see if I can just quickly show you. Am I sharing the right screen? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yep. Fab. So here are some online ones I created. So I know, like, if anyone's not familiar with Canva, I won't have time to go through it today, but what I do have for you is I've recorded a whole 90-minute workshop, which I can give you a link to, and it takes you through the whole process. So I'm just looking over there because the pictures have gone over there. Let me just move those. Right, there we go. So the workshop takes you through the whole 90 minutes of the whole process of like step by step what you need to do. So this is really just, I've got half an hour now just to talk you through it. But what I would like us to do, I'm just going to show you these, and then I've got some questions for you, and I'd really love to hold, we don't often give ourselves time just to think about what do we want to create in the next year. So I'd just love to hold that space for you. And I'm going to play a little bit of music and ask you a few questions so you can just start to reflect on that. And then if you do want to take it further and really get in on this, and like the whole workshop shows you how to do it, where you can send it to print, it gets delivered to your door looking something like this, then you can put it up on your wall. And yeah, if you get into the habit of doing one of those a quarter, or even once a year, once every 6 months, it just makes such a difference to having that reinforcement, as I was saying, every day. So this is one I made about a month ago. So yeah, just feeling into like the sort of vibes and the sort of things. I'm working a lot with human design at the moment, so I put human design in the middle. There's a bit of astrology in there, there's a bit of music, so I'm in a choir. So yeah, just all of these little things that you can put in to come through of what you want in your life. That's the one I showed you that I've now got printed out and have had on my wall, but it's from about a year or so ago. So I do think it's good to keep them fresh and to, our ideas change, what we want evolves. So I do think it's good to refresh them. So I have some questions for you. The first point to stop and think and to think, what do I actually want in the next year? So I'm going to read out the questions for you, and then I'm going to put them in the chat and just play music for a few minutes where we can just really sit together and have that space to answer those questions. So here they are. So I would like you to write down one great thing about yourself right now. And put these in the chat as well. So don't worry if you don't write it down, that's in the chat. So one great thing about me right now, how I want to feel in the next year, because often we think about all the things we want to do, all the stuff we want to get, all the, I don't know, jobs, whatever, but how do you actually want to feel? I think that's the most important thing. And what one thing, if you did it, started it, actioned it, would make a big difference, and how can you incorporate that? Sometimes there's just one action that we're putting off or that we don't want to do, but we know will make a difference. What is your soul calling you to do? So that little niggly feeling might not be logical, probably won't be logical. What do you want to learn? One of my core values is learning and growth, so I always include that. Who do you want to meet, and what energy do you want in relationships? And how can you be true to yourself and seek internal validation, not external? So I'm just going to play some lovely music, hopefully, if I can. Sound.
Always see the dangers first. Always protect your feet. You always be ready for cold. feet. You'd always be ready for cold. Always be ready for heat. Always know where good water source is. Always master the skills necessary. Always get the job done. Always know your place. Always disallow foolishness. And always rest whenever you can. Ten fingers, 10 laws that I live by. Like a little song that keeps me on track. 10 fingers, 10 laws that I live by. Always see the dangers first, always protect your feet, always be ready for cold, always be ready for heat, always know where good water source is, always master the skills necessary, always get the job done, always know your place, always disallow foolishness, and always rest whenever you can, whenever you can.
Could it be that we're all musicians singing our way through life together?
Hey, how's everyone getting on?
It's good, thanks.
Anyone want to share any of those? You don't have to, but I always love hearing. Or shall I pick on someone? Praveen, I'm going to pick on you. Do you want to share one of your points, like whichever one you choose?
The last person you pick on. Yeah. How do I want to feel next year? That's a really nice one, and I really feel that everything is moving in this direction. The word would be established.
Mm.
So I moved from Organic Mind. I know some of you know that's the shop that I've been working in. It was such a lovely 5 years, and then I've moved to this place called Booty, which just seems to be like the next logical step. And it's bigger in its vision, in its yeah. So it kind of links in with what's actually going on. So I wrote 3 words: established, a sense of having arrived, because I'm becoming more of a public figure, and excited. It's kind of a given. So that type of feeling, which is really nice. It's very exciting. So yeah, it's funny. It does seem really slow, but it is amazing, this journey that we're all on. If you stick with it, these things do eventually come into being, and it is fascinating as you watch it and realize it, that it's a real, not just a sort of a flaky wish. Do you know what I mean?
I think the thing with vision boards that helps me as well is it just, sometimes we think we have our own timings, don't we? We want things to happen quicker or whatever it is. But when you think about, like, we're in this for the long run, right? It's not like the next year, the next 2 years, you know, God willing, that we've got time to, you know, for things to happen. So I think about that in terms of, you know, starting my own business and the sacrifices that I've made and everything over the last few years. It's like, yes, these last few years have been hard, but what about the rest of my life? I'm creating something that will be, I trust, a whole different lifestyle, a whole different way of living and impacting people. So yeah, I think it helps you to think about things from that point of view. And yeah, and something else I would love to sort of dive in if we have time. I think we just about do. is to just bring in a little bit of astrology for you guys. So I don't know how familiar everyone is with astrology, but the North Node in your chart is really connected with the energy of your destiny. So if you think about, you know, before you came to Earth, when your soul was like floating around wherever we float around, and it was like, why do I want to come to Earth? What do I want to learn? The North Node is like the energy of that. It's like, if we can feel into that, that is actually what we chose to come here for. So for example, and it's about the energy of it. So when you read a North Node description, sometimes it sounds like you're being put in a box, or like, how do I do this? Or it's like a thing, but it's actually more of an energy. So my example is, my North Node is in Cancer, which is the very feminine sign, very intuitive, nurturing, caring, holding space. So when I think about that, means, you know, it's always a polarity. There's, you know, the Cancer is on one side, and then on the other end of that is Capricorn, and that energy is around working really hard, getting burnt out, being like very in this masculine patriarchal workplace culture of like just working really hard. So it's like, those are the two ends. And then for me, my North Node in Cancer means that I'm working, my destiny or my goal of coming here was to embrace doing things in a more feminine, intuitive way, which is, I feel like, where I'm going now. It's not been straightforward, and like, when you look back on it in that sense, you can see all of the things that you went through that maybe weren't great at the time, but they've helped you develop that, what you needed to know in order to embody that. So I will show you how to, does anyone here already know their North Node? I don't know how into astrology people are here.
I can, sorry, go ahead, Obi.
Yeah, so I can show you how to just quickly pull it.
I thought someone was going to talk in there. I'll just add in, strangely enough, the one time I've done an astrology chart was with Obi's then partner, from about, God knows how long, 8 years ago. And I learned I'm moving from I think it's the South Node to the North Node. Is that right? It's basically the direction of your soul journey. So yeah. From the relationship, from the self, that was the theme, from the self to relationships. From one, if that makes sense. So basically journeying from working within myself to actually working with others, which links beautifully with a discussion that James and I and many of others have had, that one of the themes of the moment for a lot of people is collaboration. So it's definitely moving towards collaboration and working with other people.
So is your North Node in Aquarius then?
I can't remember. I just remember it was you have the 12 houses, and it was
sounds like an Aquarius vibe. So like your South Node would be Leo, which is all about the self and self-identity and like wanting reinforcement around you, and Aquarius is very much about the other people, the community, social good. Right. But I'll just quickly show you, if you do want to have a look at your North Node, so you can go to this brilliant website. It looks a bit old-fashioned, but it is really good, astro.com. Go there, and then you're looking for, in this side section where it says chart drawing ascendant. If anyone can't find that, let me know. Astro.com, chart drawing ascendant. And then it will ask you to put in your date, time, and place of birth. If you don't know the time, just put in midday, or if you know if it was morning or afternoon or evening, put in the time that reflects that, just as close as you can. And then you should get a chart that looks like this with your natal birth chart. And it's here, it's the one that's called the True Node, which looks like this, like a sort of curly N. If anyone's struggling, just put your date, time, and place of birth in the chat and I'll look it up for you. So you can see there's mine there, True Node, 0 degrees Cancer, which is sitting there. And I do have, it's in the recording as well. I'm going to send you the link to if anyone does want to jump into it a bit more, but I do have somewhere in all my tabs a brief description. So if you tell me which one yours is in, I can have a quick look. Otherwise, if you want a bit of time to dig into it and reflect on it, you can always send me a message in the WhatsApp group and I'll have a look as well. But yeah, the idea is once you look at your north node, then have a look at the energy of your north node. And I can also, if you message me, I can also just give you a really quick overview of what that means, like the direction, like Praveen said, the direction that you were coming from, which could be like your comfort zone, versus your north node, which is like your, you know, where you ideally want to go. That's like where your soul is calling you to go. So that's just a little bit of astrology that I like to bring in when we're doing vision boarding, is just to think about that kind of energy, so that you can see with my vision boards, there's a lot in there that probably reflects like the sort of Cancer vibes of like feminine, you know, like being outside, being in nature, like this sort of self-care, nurturing vibe. I don't know if they're coming across, but hopefully they are. Yeah, if anyone wants help with checking out their north node, let me know. Lucia, I know I already know yours. You're a Leo.
I'm Leo. Yeah, I was just looking at that slide. But you know what? I keep forgetting to think about this. Like every time we mention it, I'm like, oh yeah, my north node. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something you can always just come back to, and just thinking of it in terms of the energy. So like especially like Leo is the opposite of what I think Praveen was sharing. So like it's more around yeah, I mean, it's linked to creativity, joy and dreams, but it's also about you taking center stage, self-expression and putting yourself out there, because that is the Leo. It's like the sun is shining on you, which is what, yeah, it won't feel, often the north node energy won't feel comfortable. Like for me, my comfort zone is definitely like work harder, do all the things, and that all, you know, whereas Cancer is the opposite of that. It's actually like in the being. So yeah, it's fascinating what you can
Definitely. Thanks.
do. Oh, Siobhan, you put yours in, I can have a look. 26th of the 10th. Yeah. If anyone else wants to put theirs in, let me know. I'll just have a look at yours, Siobhan.
Just want to say hi to Ariane. Thanks for joining us. Made it in.
Hello? Yeah. Is the north node also described as the true node?
Yeah, the true node is like the exact point, and then the north node is in theory a bit of a wider space, but it's the same point it's talking about. Yeah.
Well, I might as well say mine's in Virgo, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Virgo, interestingly, is the sign of like life coaching, so like being of service. It's connected to daily routines, health, wellness, very detail orientated. It is an earth sign, so it's very like about being grounded. Yeah, having a real sense of connection to the earth, and being, yeah, just being of service, actually.
That's
you know,
me.
that resonates.
That works. Yeah. It does.
Siobhan, yours is in Virgo too. There you go. So yeah, the same points there. Having a look at your chart. Yeah, so that would mean your south node, so like your comfort zone would be in Pisces, which is you know, like being in the dream world, being really imaginative, you know, maybe disconnecting a bit from reality. I'm a Pisces sun and Pisces moon, so I'm totally with you. Just, yeah, like I suppose the Virgo is very practical and like in this world, whereas the Pisces comfort zone is much more like, yeah, daydreaming and intuitive and creative. So that's kind of like the energy that you came in with, and then your soul was thinking, I want to go more in this Virgo energy. How can I learn with that? What can I do with that? Yeah, that's the sense I would take from that.
Thank you. Thanks.
Very welcome. Shabari, have a look at yours. I know we're running out of time, James. I'll quickly pull up Shabari's. Okay, okay, Shabari, yours has come up. Oh, opposite of me. You've got North Node in Capricorn. Where are you? There you are. So North Node in Capricorn is more around like the practical, the like being quite structured, organized, quite like linked to like making a significant amount of effort. So like it's taking effort to do things, but seeing it through. It's also an earth sign, so it's very like about being grounded, practical. But then your comfort zone would be in Cancer, which is the intuitive, feminine, more around being, less around doing. So yeah, it often feels like we feel much more at home in our South Node, but it's like our North Node is like maybe calling, can we just integrate a bit of that energy into our lives, and just thinking about how you could bring that into your vision board if you want to. Like, it's just an invitation. So I know we're at time, but I've got this link if you do want to dig into it a bit further. I just put it in the chat. It's just a recording of this is like a 90-minute to 2-hour session I normally do. So there's a recording of that if you want to do the full version, and just allow yourself that time to, yeah, sit back, pull out the images, think about what you really want in 2022. All the instructions are in there. So yeah, this is just a sort of to open that space for you. But thank you so much for having me. I hope it's been useful.
Well,
thank you, Lauren. That was really useful. Thank you. I never knew anything about North Nodes or South Nodes before. I mean, you know, I just knew that I was I'm a Pisces, and that's it. I didn't realize. I mean, I know that's like in fact, when before my husband and I got married, his mum wanted us to see whether we were compatible, and wanted to do like a oh gosh, you know, like an astrology chart thing.
Yeah.
Get somebody in to see whether we were compatible in the, you know, in that kind of sense. And I refused to do it. But the thing is, I know that we were meant to be together, because, you know, this is really odd actually. We lived, when we were about 3 years old, because my husband and I are almost at the same age, we actually lived on the same street, a few doors away from each other. And I think we were about 3 years old, or even, you know, maybe less than that. And then when I moved, after we got married and I moved to Northolt, believe this or not, there are 2 jewelers with our names, almost exactly our names. So one of them, one of the jewelers shops in South Harrow is called Sabari, Sabari, which is nearly my name, and opposite is Sager, which is Sager, and my husband's name is Sagar, so opposite each other. So you know that, yeah. So I know that we were meant to be, and yeah.
I always see astrology. I see it like as it's like our souls are one thing, like, and then we come in, like the astrology is like the energy we come in with, but it's not like saying you are this. It's just the energy that you come in with, and that can change and work in different ways. So yeah, I try always not to make it prescriptive, but more like just considering the energy that you're working with, I think. Also, I forgot to say that it is a full moon on Friday, and it's also a lunar eclipse, which means your north nodes are going to be super activated. So this is just the perfect time to consider your north node. So yeah.
I did a vision board actually in February 2020, just before lockdown. I went along to an event where we did a vision board. I didn't quite finish it, but similar to you and Praveen, I put there were magazine cutouts, and I put together. I don't have it with me because it's at our place and I'm at my parents at the moment, and yeah, there was so many different things that I I was thinking of, and I guess one of the things was like what I want in terms of where I want to live, how much money I want to be earning, all these different things, and I don't feel as though I do as much visualization as I should, and I think that Lauren, with your talk here, that's really inspired me to actually do more of that, and finish my vision board, because it was something that I started then and I haven't finished it, and then have it hanging where I can see it. So
and you can always put it up before it's finished, and then just think of it as like you can just go and put on some, just go and blue tack or stick on new things when you feel like it. Like Praveen, you left the workshop and yours had white spaces, and it's fine to have white. It doesn't need to be finished. Yeah,
beautiful.
I love it.
Matured enough to not have felt insecure about that, which I really noticed within myself, and to recognise it was a work in progress, and that the gaps.
Praveen, you've gone really quiet.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Guys, I've got ahead, but I've got a martial arts class now, believe it or not. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
Not really.
Sounds like you're in a tunnel very far away.
Hopefully James can take over. I'm just going to have to head now. I'm off to a martial arts class, believe it or not, outside. So I've got a bit of action to do now. But Lauren,
Nice.
Fantastic. Thank you so much to James, so much to Obi as well.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. I enjoyed that. Yeah.
I'll put the links in the WhatsApp in case anyone wants to ask about astrology or anything at all. I'll put that in the chat. Almighty networks, right?
Yeah, and Lauren, particular sites you would recommend people to go to with a view to building up their sort of vision board for 2022? Anywhere that because are there any other great resources that people can go to?
Yeah, I mean, I just most of the time use Google image search when I'm doing the online digital ones, like literally just I always think search for the most random way of describing what you want, or like search for the feeling. That's how I find like a lot of these images for the one that I did this one online, and a lot of those images, I think I just typed in, like calm or relaxed or strong or whatever it was. So I would say, yeah, just think of random search terms so you don't get like all the normal everyday stuff coming up. And in the link that I put in the chat, there's it's all, everything's in there. So yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you everyone very, very much indeed for a wonderful, wonderful evening. Very, very stimulating. I've written pages, well, not pages, but a lot of notes. And I think
Brilliant.
everyone's got their own journey, own plan. And I think the key thing with all this is taking action, doing something as a result of what we have been beautifully exposed to tonight. So thank you everyone very, very much. Every evening is a very, very special evening. Thank you everyone for your participation. Thank you, Obi, particularly for you coming in from Sweden. We so appreciate your input. And Lauren, above all, thank you so much for your time to be with us tonight.
Really welcome. Thank you, James.
We
Thank you.
love your little board behind you, Intuitive Business Academy. I love that.
That's my membership. Yeah.
That's something you've launched already, is it?
Yeah.
What? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it's a membership for people who are intuitive and in business. So it's all around, like, literally what we've done today is, like, I believe in bringing creativity, intuitivity, intuition, and just like a more feminine approach to work, and stepping away from a lot of the patriarchal conditioning of, like, the way things have to be done, especially around marketing. Like, some of it just doesn't feel good, and we don't need to, if it doesn't feel good, it's not going to be effective. So that's kind of what it's about. It's a much more intuitive, flowing approach to running a business.
Right, and that fits in beautifully with the talk that we had last time about intuition and getting in the flow and all that. So, well, thank you very much, everyone. I think we're over time, but it's been an amazing evening again. And thank you so much. And I'll put the recording on the Adventures WhatsApp group. Yeah.
Fab.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.